DMS TV, DMS Chats, with my man, Cat Lacat. Welcome to it, brother.
Thanks for having me. Man.
Always great to have new talent, young talent, you know, and man, where did it all start for you? Give us a lowdown, because you're up there now. And you're climbing, but you know what? How long have you been doing this? Where did you start? Let us know.
Yeah, well, I think I started 2001, so that's about
19 years.
Yeah, 19 years. Yeah, that's when like I started mixing, I'd say. But I'd been like collecting house music way earlier. Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks to guys like you with the compilations and stuff. Yeah. But when I got to high school, that's when I like first started seeing people DJing on turntables, and these were students from my school, in Victoria Technical High, and yeah, so I think it started there, 2001, and well, I also started like half, because I didn't have full equipment and stuff, so I started buying records first, and then playing at friends' places. Then I got one turntable. I used to travel with one turntable to a friend so I can mix with his one other turntable. And yeah, but I think I was pretty much a bedroom DJ for the first 3-4 years. Hit the club scene around 2005, 2006. And yeah, I've just been there, up and coming for the past 10, 11 years.
What was your plan when you got into this? I mean,
honestly, there was no plan.
There
was no plan. I was just following what I liked, But I think I got a kind of a plan when I had to decide after high school what I was gonna do. And I was like, okay, what's the closest that I can study that's very close to what I'm doing now, And for me, that was sound engineering. So also I'd had this funny fascination of fiddling with radios and stuff. So I think the plan started developing from there. That okay, I want to be in arts and music and sound, and then I ended up studying sound. But I mean, starting it just developed. There was no plan. There was no kind of...
Just a love for music, basically.
Yeah.
Love for music, and let it lead me where it goes.
Yeah.
That was it. No, it's good. A lot of people maybe sometimes see the monetary value in the arts, and I'm not sure if there's any such thing, because you just can't put a monetary value to art. You know what I mean. You got to do it for the love of it, and stuff like that. And from a DJing perspective, I mean, look, I think the past 3-4 years, they've been good years for you. I mean, you've been building, you've been doing some amazing sets. I've been watching you, I've played with you, and stuff like that. And you're really feeling what you're doing. You're getting into it. Now you're like, you're there. What has changed? What is that? Is it because you developed your ear? What is it?
I think it's two things. I think, yes, firstly, the developed ear, but also secondly, I think it's the confidence that I now have in myself. Because before, I was constantly trying to fit in, trying to get which sound is the right
Be
sound.
Somebody. That you weren't.
Yeah. So, and every time I'd play my stuff, because it's a bit weird, and get like a slow maybe response, then I start panicking, like, oh, shit, they don't like this, So
let me change.
Yeah,
play something commercial or whatever.
So I think over the years, that's the only thing that I can say was the biggest change, is the confidence that, I kind of understand my sound, and this is how I present it, So, yeah, I think...
What is your sound? What is it that you're comfortable with? Because I notice your tempo is quite slow, like 115, 117. You love that tempo.
Yeah. So I really don't know how to explain my sound, because
Try.
I also don't play like one certain type of sound, because I know I'd get guys who like deep tech, and like, we like your stuff, but like the first 4 tracks, and then you go off, and then the other guys, they're like, nah, the first 4 tracks are too deep for us, so I'm just groovy, I like groovy stuff, even when I go for like minimal stuff and dub techno stuff, but it needs to be that groovy kind of stuff, because I'm from that
Era.
where guys like you were feeding us, you know, melodic, groovy stuff, you know. So I really like more melodic kind of stuff, you know. Even though I do play dub tech and whatnot, but it has to have like some kind of melodic content, you know. I'm not into like the loopy kind of, you know, wow.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Monotonous.
Yeah, you know.
You want it must have melody in it.
Yeah, you know.
From a musical side, I can see it on the music because you got into production. What made you get into production? Because or maybe
also, I think production also was how I got into the DJing side, you know, with just experimenting. Because also production, I started in high school, you know. By mistake, I bumped into a software, you know, Fruity Loops, and just started messing around with it. But I also, because I didn't understand my sound as a DJ, I couldn't like exploit it properly, because also I was trying to fit in with the production.
Yeah.
process, you know.
You're
So-
trying to find yourself.
Yeah,
Everybody tries and finds
yeah,
himself, you
yeah.
know.
So I ended up like having to experiment with many types of different styles until I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with this. And, you know, this is what I understand. You know, this is what I can present properly. You know, so I'd say also the production also it went hand in hand with the DJing. Where the last 4 years or 5 years, that's where like I was like, okay, this is me. You know, this is me, and I can now exploit it and explore, you know, and without fear, you know, without having that thing. Is this gonna work? Is this, you know, yeah. So it also developed like that, and then also because I did study sound engineering, we went more into depth into digital workstations there, you know, and I fell in love with it, you know. So even though I didn't want to do it for music, because I was more into the engineering side of things, but I mean, the engineer is nothing without the music, and
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Now it's 2 in 1.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's amazing, man. I think also the amazing part is the fact that you developed and you allowed yourself to develop from the DJing side, went into the production side, because there's so many facets of music, you know, and just so much that you can actually do. And like I say, you know, sometimes I guess when people see you, they don't know the whole story. You know, they see you either as one or the other. It depends on which platform actually, you know, people met you
And also
from.
depends when they
And when they
discover
met you,
you.
yes, when they discover. Some just discover you now and just think, you know. I mean, I don't really know much of your history, and I didn't really go into your bio in detail, but if you understand what I'm saying. But now just telling me, I mean, you've been, you know, pushing for 19 years, and that's kind of, that's how it is, you know, you just push in this industry, and it's amazing. COVID, how did that affect you?
Very negatively, I'd say.
In which way?
In psychologically, number one, I think that's the most important one, psychologically, and then obviously the financial side of things too, you know, which contributed to the psychological side of things. But I'm number one, I'm not a loner, you know, as much as I'm quiet and whatnot, but I love having people around me all the time, you know. So immediately when they said level 5 and now I had to be at home alone, I almost went crazy. Like that first 2 months, like I couldn't do much because like my spirit was just
Down.
you know, and I know because I feed off people. And all of a sudden I can't move around, I can't go see anyone, no one can come see me, you know. So it was hard, you know. It's still hard, but like now we've adjusted kind of, you know.
Yeah, we've adjusted, and I guess with easing down and meeting people and being able to talk and chat and what are we doing today, I guess it helps mentally. Mentally being alone and stuck alone is
so yeah, for me that was the biggest thing, like that being alone, you know, and because that's what feeds me, you know, being around people, you know, and when you're coming from a lifestyle where almost every weekend, like
you're out,
you know, you're meeting thousands of people every weekend, you know, and then sudden stop, yeah. So I think that was the big change that kind of affected me psychologically, you know. But yeah, now we can see people I'm not
It's
sure.
getting better. We're going to get somewhere.
Yeah.
I think the last question. What motivation would you give to young people, you know, that want to get into the industry? You know, what would you say to them? I mean, you know, some motivation for younger people who want to get into the industry. Somebody's at high school where you were, and is thinking of getting into the industry. What would you say to them? You know, how do they find their way within this industry?
Yeah, I don't know. I heard this somewhere lately, but I just don't remember who said it. But the saying was like, believe in your dopeness. Like, I think.
I think Coffee said that.
Yeah. Believe in your dopeness, and also be patient with yourself. I think that's also something that I had to learn to come to terms with, that things are not just gonna happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be patient with yourself. You know, if you just persist, things will happen over time. You know, and so for me, I think that could be like the motivation that I would say, like, believe in your ability, and also be patient with yourself. Yeah.
Build yourself.
Yeah.
Build yourself as you can.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I mean, I didn't start producing or playing alone. You know, we always had crews, and out of most of the guys that I started with, a lot of them grew impatient with themselves, you know, and they got frustrated, and they're not.
This is not working out. That type of a thing. Yeah.
And these are guys who I felt were much more talented than I was, you know, who I envied at the time. I was like, yo, if I could be as dope as this guy. And a year down the road, he's quit, you know, and you're like, oh, what a waste of potential there, you know. But it's just because they were not patient with themselves.
Patient enough. Yeah.
Especially those that do believe that they're dope, and like, yeah, I know I'm dope, so things need to happen, you know. But like, life doesn't always happen like that, you know. So,
Sure.
So I think, the biggest also thing is to be patient with yourself. Yeah.
But there's something, lastly, you know, this Facebook thing, 1st of October, no more live streams.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
It's tough, but I think it was always coming. Yeah. I think it was always coming. Yeah. And that's why I believe in building your own kind of platforms, you know, for such things, you know, and not being at the mercy of whoever,
anyone.
You know.
I love that.
Yeah. So we'll find a way. You know, because I don't think we've always relied on Facebook. You know, it did help when it needed to, but I think we'll make a way.
We will. We'll definitely.
Sure.
Cat like cat, you're the man. Thank you, bro.
Sure.